I put my ex on blast after finding out he was sleeping with 40+ women. I had just left my abusive ex-husband and found myself chatting with this guy I connected with on social media. He mentioned we went to the same school, and though he remembered me, I had no clue who he was. Despite knowing nothing about him except that he was incredibly handsome, heavily tattooed, and a bodybuilder, I was intrigued. I checked our yearbook and was blown away by how much he'd changed. He looked amazing. Within a few weeks of talking, we fell for each other, and he moved cross-country to be with me. It was all long distance, and looking back, I realize it was probably a rebound. A couple of months in, we were in love and fixing up our new place. Our neighbors, B and Rob, introduced themselves. We hit it off immediately. B became my best friend, and we were practically family, spending most of our time together, sharing meals, and even attending B and Rob's wedding. One night, while my boyfriend was in the kitchen, I heard loud, angry yelling and banging on our front door. My boyfriend's face went white, and he told me not to open it. I was confused until I realized it was Rob at the door. My boyfriend stripped off his shirt and said, "I guess this is happening now, I'm sorry." Before opening the door, Rob punched my boyfriend and screamed, "How long have you been sleeping with my wife?" Apparently, B had confessed during marriage counseling. I was stunned, dropped to my knees, and begged my boyfriend to tell me it wasn't true. As I looked past Rob, I saw B standing there. I felt rage boil over. This woman, who I'd trusted and given a key to my home, had been sleeping with my boyfriend? Rob and my boyfriend started fighting in the driveway while B tried to come inside to talk. I warned her to stay out, but she stepped into my home, so I punched her in the face. It hurt like hell, but I wasn't backing down. The cops were called, and B tried to press charges, but it didn't go through. I later found out that B and my boyfriend had been hooking up regularly just 2 weeks after we all met. I'd ignored so many red flags. I remembered how B had drunkenly cried to me before her wedding, saying she was a terrible friend, and I reassured her she was great. I also noticed how they'd called each other big brother and little sister, which in hindsight was a clear sign of their relationship. Everything fell apart, my relationship and my friendship with B. In my anger and need for revenge, I decided to dig into my ex-boyfriend's secrets. I discovered he had over 40 women he was cheating on, including a single mom and even her 18-year-old daughter, whom he was also pursuing. He had been juggling relationships, telling some he loved them, and others that he was planning to marry them, all while keeping them in the dark about each other. I compiled all the evidence, screenshots, and messages, and sent them to every woman he'd been involved with, including our picture. The responses were a mix of heartbreak and humor. We all realized we'd been played for fools. A few hours later, my ex texted me, demanding to know what I'd done. I simply replied, "Karma's a bitch, isn't it?" He had to change his number due to the threats he was receiving. Years later, it's astonishing how he still tracks me down and even texted me 5 years later saying I was the one that got away. It's pathetic.